So let's make a change. So let's look at our application one more time, and it says, "Are you a trivia expert?" Well, expert, that might be too gentle. Let's go with genius. So let's make a new branch and say this is an initiative for marketing. So we'll do git status, and we see that we're in a nice, look at that, working tree clean, nothing to commit. We don't have a bunch of different stashes behind that you end up accumulating with a regular development environment. Let's make a new branch. Git branch. Let's say feature / update marketing terms. There we go. And now let's update expert, and we'll say genius. Now let's rerun our Rails server. So we see right away, we didn't even have to hit save. It automatically detected that there was a change, and it noticed now that there's a pending change. And then similarly, if we do git status, okay, we see that there's a modification. Now we see that there's Git integration built right into the platform. So we can stage this file to be committed and then put our commit message right here. Let's do that. We can say, as per marketing initiative, updating expert to genius. And let's do a commit. Okay. Now we can go further GitHub integration, and let's do a pull request. And we can create a pull request. So here is my change that I've made. I've made a change in this feature branch. I can test it. Let's do Rails server. It's going to detect that Rails server is going to want to, there we go, it's going to want to talk on port 3000. Okay, my change works. So let's make a pull request. Update and then I'm creating my pull request and pushing that branch. Now, maybe Raul or Pavan, do you think you have time to review my pull request? I don't know if you have time to get your environment set up. Do you think you could do that for us?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
All right.
By the way, while Pavan just gets started on this, I don't know how many of you realized that everything that Stephen was doing was in a web browser. There was no local client, there was no local download. Everything was being done in a web browser. And you saw the way the response was on the UI. You couldn't differentiate a local instance from this remote development environment. So go ahead, Pavan, you can share your screen, and I'm going to do a parallel review over here. I'm just going to do exactly what you're doing there.
Okay. So yeah, this is the repo. So essentially, I went to the pull request, and I see like Stephen has given a pull request. So I can just click the pull request, then use the DevSpaces button to kind of take a look, saying like what are the changes Stephen has made. This is completely fresh. I've assumed that I have no clue what Stephen has done. I just got a pull request, and hence I'm kind of going through. So it's kind of bringing up the whole environment for me, like what Stephen had, so that I can actually do a pull request check, be it in terms of a code review. And I can also kind of run that and see, saying like, what is the impact of that change, right? So it's not just a question of just doing a code review, because it's a fresh environment being spun up for me. I could actually kind of go and check and see like what are the change being made. So it's just kind of bringing this up.
Yeah, Stephen, can you just share my screen? So just to show
Absolutely.
everyone, I am doing a parallel review over here. This is my screen. I'm literally doing a parallel review while Pavan is doing the same thing. My environment is absolutely separate, absolutely clean, pristine, starting from scratch. So while all these other dependencies are coming up, why don't we go take a look at what this is the pull request. Let's give it a second over here. Let's take a look.
I think what's really neat, what you just said, we've just set up 3 independent Ruby environments. It doesn't matter what OS we're running. You could be running Linux. You might be on your iPad for all I know. Oh, okay. What are you doing there?
Oh, so I was just looking at the diff, which came up because this is a pull request. Because I started, I hit the DevSpaces button just like Pawan did. I actually see the delta over here because I want to make sure that the code change is appropriate. That's the only change you have. That looks fine to me. Now let's just make sure that this stuff all works. So I am going to just start the server again. And I hear, because I saw you do this, that when you start the server, the UI comes up automatically. So that's amazing. Okay, so are you a trivia genius? Yep, that looks right. Spelling looks okay. I think you're good to go. So let me go back to the pull request. And let me add a comment. This looks good.
Yeah, thanks.
And I will come in and submit. Since Pawan is head of engineering for DevSpaces, I will let him say it is approved. And so, yeah, I'm just commenting and submitting. And that's my review. It's that easy to look at someone else's pull request on an entire product, pull down all the dependencies, make sure everything is working before you sign off on it. And I literally did not have to download anything on my local machine. I just depended on all the configuration for the dev environment that was already provided as code. And the team couldn't be more productive than this to get things started. Pawan, how are things going at your end?
Yes, I could see the same thing. So I also could see like, are you a GY genius on my environment as well? Which essentially means parallelly, two people could bring up and spin up that instance. And then you can do even parallel reviews, right? Which means any number of people could kind of parallelly bring in that environment, what a developer just did, and then do a parallel review. So I can say like, yeah, it looks fine to me. And then I can say like approve and submit LGTM. And I could kind of get out of the review mode. I can go back and see in terms of my regular files where I could take a look in terms of what the code looks like and everything. I could kind of explore, go out of the review mode.